Hey geeks, I'm Trey Guillotine, and you're watching Geekly Trends, where I give a few thoughts about some of the geeky trends that have happened in the past week. Mass Effect may be in trouble with EA and BioWare, but first... FX is going ahead with their second Marvel TV show, Deadpool. This isn't going to be like Legion, it's not going to be live action. This is actually going to be an adult animated version of Deadpool, and the showrunner is going to be Donald Glover. Donald Glover is getting involved a lot with Marvel these days. He apparently has a large role in Spider-Man Homecoming, and now he's going to be showrunner for the Deadpool cartoon. Originally, you might want to think that this is Marvel's way of apologizing to Donald Glover for not casting him as Spider-Man, but I don't think that's the case. I think Donald Glover is both a very talented actor and a very creative individual, so I think having him running an adult cartoon of Deadpool is a really smart move, so I'm really looking forward to this show coming out. Further in Marvel news, a lot of fans have been excited because Kevin Feige said that there's possibility for a TV movie crossover. As TV movie crossovers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is something I talk about a lot, but I'm not excited about this, and here's why. What Kevin Feige said is that eventually, yes, there will probably more than likely be a TV or a movie crossover. There's a lot of heroes on the TV shows, there's a lot of heroes in the movies, but as of yet, they haven't really had a lot of crossover. But eventually, down the line, this is something that could happen. Basically, what Kevin Feige was saying is that, sure, why not? He can't predict the future. Sure, there probably will be a crossover between TV and movies. And for me, this answer is a non-answer. It's basically saying, yeah, why not? Sure, okay, maybe. For the most part, I've come to terms with there not being a lot of TV and movie crossover, and I'm fine with that as long as they do handle the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a connected universe. I don't need to see Iron Man fight alongside with Daredevil or Spider-Man fighting alongside with Daredevil, though that would be really, really cool. But I'm totally fine with them just staying with just references and name drops from the movies in the TV shows, or having larger things that happen in the movies affect the TV shows in smaller ways. Darksiders 3 has been announced, and it's going to be focusing on the Horsemen of Fury. As excited as I am for this, that it's finally getting me to get through Darksiders 1 and 2, the thing that I want to understand most is the existence of the Horsemen of Fury. That's not literature-wise one of the four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Darksiders has done the Horsemen of War and the Horsemen of Death. And now looks like the remaining two horsemen aren't Pestilence and Famine, but it's going to be the Horsemen of Fury and the Horsemen of Strife. I was trying to think of how does Fury translate into Famine or Pestilence, and I thought of, oh, well, there is something in literature and mythology as the Furies, but I looked them up and it actually has nothing to do with Famine or Pestilence or the gods of war. So I'm not really sure how Fury or Strife will translate into the remaining horsemen. One of the things I really enjoy about Darksiders is the adaptation of that Christian mythology, as Darksiders is basically just the Christian version of God of War. Definitely not the apocalypse as the Bible portrays. It's this new kind of science fiction fantasy type of story and type of world. But the character of Fury herself looks really cool and really interesting. The way her hair is going to be portrayed, it's this very long, very billowy, red kind of flowing hairstyle, and that's going to react to the things she does in the game. But she sounds like a really interesting and really cool character. I'm just curious how she's going to adapt, how she and Strife, if Strife is in Darksiders 3, or if they do make a Darksiders 4 with Strife, how she's going to translate into the last two Horsemen of the Apocalypse. I have not played through all of Darksiders 1. I haven't played Darksiders 2. I'm working on Darksiders 1. I'm currently trying to get through Darksiders 1, but apparently, as much as I've done in the game, I'm apparently not even halfway through. So I still have a lot ahead of me in Darksiders, but I'm really enjoying it. So I don't know if the other Horsemen do show up in Darksiders or Darksiders 2. So I'm looking forward to see I'm looking forward to see how the four Horsemen in this game kind of translate or adapt from the four Horsemen of the original literature. So the final Geekly trend is a bit of a good news, bad news situation, so I'll give you the bad news first. EA is putting Mass Effect on hiatus, and it's moving a lot of their game designers from BioWare into a new EA title, some of which include Star Wars games. The series Mass Effect itself will be put on hiatus. The good news is that shifting game designers around is pretty normal for video games. Once the main game is out, the teams that are working on the DLC and working on the multiplayer servers are significantly smaller, and designers from those games usually go on to other projects. and they are leaving a team with BioWare to work on the DLCs, to work on the multiplayer, to continue the first Mass Effect Andromeda game with its upcoming DLCs. The news article that I and many other people read first was very, the sky is falling, this is a dire situation. It's not the case. This is more or less a normal situation. The thing that still worries me is the fact that Mass Effect series is going to be on hiatus, so it's going to be on an extended break. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't expecting a Mass Effect Andromeda 2 anytime soon, not even a year from now. But with putting the game on hiatus, it makes me worry that we're going to have to wait even longer for a Mass Effect Andromeda sequel. A lot of speculation of the reasons for this is due to its less than enthusiastic reception by gamers, which I think is ridiculous, though I can't speak for all gamers. I know a lot of people who didn't like Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm not one of them. I loved it despite a few of its technical issues. I loved the game, and I'm still very excited to be playing it. I am pretty upset about the idea of the Mass Effect series being put on hiatus, being put on an extended break. Right now it is just a hiatus, but I fear there is a chance that the entire series could just be canceled, and that it never comes up again. We're left not knowing what the future story of the Andromeda Galaxy, of the Andromeda Initiative holds. We don't get any more Mass Effect after this, which is just heartbreaking for me, as Mass Effect is my favorite game series. It is the #1 game series for me. I love a lot of different game series, but Mass Effect is it, and I love it, and I definitely want more from the Mass Effect from BioWare. Hopefully this hiatus is temporary, that they aren't canceling this game, that future installments of the game are going forward. It's still only a couple months since Mass Effect Andromeda has released, so we're still looking forward to a lot of updates in their multiplayer, and they actually just added a new multiplayer character that's basically Garrus, as well as story DLC for the main Mass Effect campaign. So hopefully my anxiety and my depression is just making me feel like the sky is falling, the fact that Mass Effect is on a hiatus, but hopefully that's not going to be the case, that it is going to come back, that we are going to get a Mass Effect Andromeda sequel in the next couple years, that this isn't something to worry about. Apparently what EA and BioWare are doing is very normal for after games launch, to leave a smaller team to work on DLC and have other developers go into other projects, and then eventually they'll be put back onto a new Mass Effect game. Hopefully that's the case. I'm going to do my best to follow this news very closely, as Mass Effect is just very important to me. It's my favorite game series. I want more Mass Effect, so it being on hiatus, it's very worrying for me. What are some trends that happened this week that you'd like to talk about? Let me know in the comments or on any of the social media, and follow me on all the internets. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and check out my Patreon to support more of my future content, and share it around so others can join in the conversation. And visit templeofgeek.com, your one stop for all things geek, and subscribe to my channel to geek out some more. Thanks for watching, and have fun. So Captain America, Thor, Hulk.